What's up, YouTube? How you doing? How you guys doing? Uh, so here's another strange one for you. This is another photo from my from the April 8th, 2024 eclipse, solar eclipse, and well, it's a super strange photo. I'm sure you've noticed it's very strange already here. There's what is essentially a 90-degree angled shadow in the sky within the clouds. There's a 90 degree, like, uh, I mean, it's right there. It's right there. I'll zoom in. It's really strange. This was right in the beginning of the one of the early photos I took during the eclipse. One of the first ones, and well, there was no way I wasn't gonna take a picture of this. So like when you zoom in on this picture, you see how it's like there's like a shadow here, and it's basically a 90-degree angle. It's very close, if not. It's too close to a 90-degree angle to ignore, is the point. Uh, and it's just right, the corner of it here you see is just over what appears to be, I'm going to say, the light source. I don't want to call it the sun anymore, but we're going to say the light source in the sky is just in the corner of this what is basically a square, just in the corner of this corner. uh, and it's like you can see it's as if this shadow is underneath it, and then this part of the cloud is above it, and then the light source is between the two, if that makes sense. So the shadowy part here down low, then the sun, and then this bright lit up cloud above it is what it appears to be looking like, but we know how illusions are, so that could not be what's happening at all. But you zoom in more and things get really strange. So you zoom in even more, and there are these lines. You see these lines here, these horizontal lines right here, and there's kind of a vertical one right here. Maybe another vertical one right here. Those look like they may be kind of spaced apart, but the horizontal ones are very close together here, you see. And here's a spot where it's super visible, the lines. You see there are these horizontal lines within the clouds, within this I don't even know how to speak about what I'm looking at, because I don't know what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? I like these things that I'm showing you. When I first when they first happened, they I mean, they're blowing my actual mind, because I don't understand what I'm looking at, and I can only suspect technology. You know what I mean? Technology is of some sort is the only explanation for things like this, because nature, what I'm going to refer to as nature, even though it's not actual real nature, nature does not do this. This is man-made. This is or if it's not man-made, it's made by some other non-human being. You know what I? It's made. It's a created, designed, structured thing. Otherwise, there wouldn't be repetitive patterns like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's all over this photo. I had to have not only just gotten lucky, but like more than just luck. Like, this is because no one else has photos like this. Have you ever seen a photo like this? I haven't been able to find things like this. There are lines within within the clouds, in the sky, in the light, in the sun here that I'm looking at. Whatever I'm looking at, there is a grid pattern of some sort in the sky, and that kind of implies a surface, right? So that means that there's a surface. There's something. There is an object. There is material. There's something up there. I'm gonna call it a ceiling. Okay, there's a ceiling. That's why in my previous video I mentioned a box being in a box, is because when you measure the distance between the eastern and western horizon being 7 kilometers, those are those are barriers, right? The Book of Enoch talks about doors and things opening. So like the sun, whatever the sun is, would have to go somewhere in order for that the way it acts during the other 40,000 rest of the 40,000 kilometers, for that, in order for that to be possible. So there's also a ceiling as well, and here is the visual proof of that. However, I still don't know. I mean, this breaks all understanding. You know what I mean? This breaks it absolutely destroys anything that and everything that we were taught. Uh, and leave and I mean, once you see something like that, it leaves you clueless, because now, from my perspective, I am on my own trying to understand what I'm looking at, and I talk to anyone about it and I'm just gonna get called crazy. I'm certain I could show people this exact photo that I'm showing you now, and I will still get called crazy. And they will still somehow come up with some explanation for this right angle, 90-degree angle nearly in the sky, which kind of implies that there's something square-ish up there, and this grid pattern. I can't make this up. I can't I can't I don't I can't how could I make this up? How could I even do this? You know what I mean? How could I even fake something like this? This is ridiculous. This is insane. I didn't grow up wanting to discover things like this. I grew up understanding that the Earth was round. That's what we were taught, and that the Earth goes around the sun, and there's 9 planets and all that shit. But none of that's true, and here's the proof. So anybody who has anything to say in relevance to this photo, please do, because I basically have no information on this. It looks like a grid. It looks like there's something square right here. As far as I'm concerned, you see it's super luminescent right here. So maybe that's why the grid just happened to show up. You know what I mean? So like maybe there was just happened to be enough light that it was illuminating something that is otherwise invisible. You know what I mean? Because it's not anywhere else in this photo. It's just right here where it is super lit up. And I simply cannot explain it. I simply cannot explain this photo. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. Please respond, somebody, because Well, frankly, this is freaky as hell, and I don't know what I'm looking at. See you guys next time.